this is arguably one of the greatest sporting moments in Canadian history. Like, she's reaching a point in the sport that when I was swimming was never even imaginable.
Paris Tonight is brought to you by Smartwater.
Well, Canada's streak of winning a medal on each and every day of these Olympic Games continued on Thursday, and this was a really special one. Summer McIntosh wins her second gold medal of these games, her third overall. We'll talk about that and a whole lot more in a minute. Plus, we're talking judo, we're talking gymnastics, and we're talking a whole bunch of food on today's episode of Paris Tonight. But first, let's talk about Summer McIntosh. All right. Let's talk a little more about the Golden Girl, Summer McIntosh, who, again, picked up her second gold medal of these games. We spoke to Britt McLean just a few days ago. She predicted 3 golds, 5 total. So you're on your way with the golds.
I'm running out of events, though, which is the problem. But
okay.
I'm still, obviously, things have fallen well. The relay was a bit of a long shot. That relay, the 4x2 and freestyle relay, they finished 4th. Obviously, they looked disappointed, which I almost love because I think so often we're like, you kind of shoot for the top final or you shoot for, your best performance. But now we're in the state where Canadian swimmers and athletes all over are like expecting medals. And I kind of love it because the standard is higher, which is great. But yeah, it was exceptional. I mean, another gold medal for Summer McIntosh. And to do it when she's just enjoying it, every time she swims, she seems a bit more relaxed. I think she's building really well into the meet. So I think my prediction is still possible. But I am running out of events. So everything from here on out needs to go perfect.
Okay. All right. And she's doing really well with the bright lights on her. And the event that her mom competed in back in 1984, I mean, this is incredible stuff. What did you see were you able to see her parents at any point? What were they like when they realized she had done it?
Yeah, I mean, I loved watching the 2Cam the whole week, just being able to see her family elated with joy, having had your mom go through it. I truly can't even fathom. I love my parents so dearly, but one of the best parts about it was they hadn't been there, so they never tried to coach me. They would just kind of drive me to and from the pool. And, Jill's done such an incredible job of still not coaching Summer, but she can be there for support. She can acknowledge that, mom understands a little bit of what I'm going through, the high performance sport. There's so many little intricacies within the journey that I think is so advantageous that her mom has been there and has the chance to kind of guide her through it and also protect her from some of the chaos of it all, right? Just making sure she's keeping her a kid and keeping her having fun. She's 17 years old.
As an aside, I heard you say that it was a perfect night at the pool for Canada. Can you explain why?
Well, a lot of the times with semifinals to finals, if you qualify everyone from the semi to the final, and tonight we were in that situation. I mean, I guess a perfect night would have been if the women's 4x2 and freestyle relay got on the podium. So I kind of forgot that one. But Summer McIntosh, a gold medal, Olympic record, Canadian record, second best to ever do it, ever. Just absurd. So that I would check off the box of near perfection. Yes. Then we have the semifinals. So the goal of a semifinal is to qualify through to the final. You're not looking to, you can't win any medals. We learned that one.
Yes.
Can't learn any medals. You can't, I
was trying to forget, by the way, but thanks for reminding me.
I mean, you can still hit records,
right.
You go for times, but a lot of the times it's just preparation through. So Kylie Moss with a solid turner backstroke gets her through to the final. We also saw Josh Leando. He actually finished 9th, but breaking news.
Oh.
He got scratched in, which means somebody gave up their place in the top 8. So he's actually going to get to swim that final tomorrow night, which is great experience for him. It's still kind of an event he's figuring out. He'll also have the 100 butterfly tomorrow, so he's going to have to manage a bit of a tough schedule. And then we saw Finley Knox out of the outside lane, Okotoks, Alberta's finest. He was he won the world championship in a field that he knows wasn't the best field in 2024, but he took that confidence. It was such a great accomplishment, and he knew coming into the Olympics, he's happier than he's ever been, and he really just wanted to make the Olympic final. So for him to scratch, it's not scratch because the other event was a scratch, but fight tooth and nail to get there just by I think it was 6/100ths of a second.
Wow.
So he just got through, and that's why I consider it a perfect night in the pool because they're all going through in solid positioning for the finals.
I love it. I see you with Scott Russell. You're doing a great job.
Thank you.
But with him, you're Brittany, and with me, you're Britt.
I mean, whatever.
No, I just want to know, are you taking it more seriously with him? Is this hair down, Brit?
This is one
fun
button
party?
a little.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
we have to be a little bit more casual.
So this is I feel like this
we're
is
friends.
your vibe. Yeah,
I thought we were
okay.
friends.
No,
Okay.
Brit feels more friendly, casual.
Yeah.
Okay.
Me, Brit.
All right, I just wanted to make sure.
And I mean, we get to chat about swimming, which is one of the things I love. And Summer, sorry, just to bring this back from tonight.
Sure.
I was just talking to Scott about this. We were witnessing history. I think at one point he turned and he said, she just won 2 Olympic gold, 3 medals here so far. Like, this is arguably one of the greatest sporting moments in Canadian history. And it's just so casual. Like, she gets up on the podium and it is. And to me, it's just such joy because, I mean, I knew Summer since she was little. And she was on my club team, like 8 years old. I started watching her swim. And to see this come to fruition, you're almost like I could never make it, but I get to talk about it now. So for me, it's such full circle because, like, she's reaching a point in the sport that when I was swimming was never even imaginable. And now to see it, and kids are going to grow up watching this, like, it's surreal. So to finish off the night, it's surreal.
I love that. I love that word. And by the way, she's a kid. She's
I
17.
know, exactly.
That's the crazy part.
I know. I think we have to pinch ourselves every once in a while and realize, like, she seems so mature and has this head on her shoulders. And it's like, she could be in 4 years. In LA, she's only going to be 21.
Yeah.
Like, for most people, that's like starting to peak. So that's scary to know what her potential looks like.
It's been one of, if not the best stories of these games so far, a heartwarming story when you consider everything with her family, and it continues to develop. Now, unfortunately, yesterday it was a heartbreaking story for gymnast Felix Dolci. We spoke to him after his multiple falls, which unfortunately went viral. He was in great spirits. Here's that conversation.
Outshine Gold, presented by Lululemon.
Today we're being joined by not only tremendous gymnast, but also social media sensation, the pride of Saint Eustache. Had a tough time at the Olympic Games, but made us oh so proud and became an inspiration in his own right. Thank you so much for joining us.
My pleasure.
We appreciate it. And it's great to see you in great spirits as well after a tough Wednesday for you. And so how are you dealing with that? Because here I see you smiling. I'm sure inside you're hurting a little bit.
Yeah. I mean, of course I had a couple hours now after the comp to, reflect, think, and, tone it down a little bit. But to tell you the truth, is it hard? Is it disappointing? Of course, definitely. I think there's a lot of stuff during my Olympics here in Paris that I would have maybe, wished for more, for differently or better. But the reality is that, I've learned through sports that it doesn't always go your way, right? It doesn't always go your way, but it's really important to be able to learn from those mistakes or learn from those experiences in order for you to climb back up the ladder and perform at the level you truly desire, Because, like, looking back at a couple months ago, I was, Pan Am champion, so many medals, it was great, and we qualified a team for the Olympics. Life was phenomenal, The truth is, it was definitely a big challenge here in Paris. It was definitely a big challenge, and as we, saw today again on high bar, I was ranking third before high bar, which is one of my strongest piece of event, and the grip just snapped in half, and I had a bad fall again. So, I guess it might not. Maybe it was just not my time yet. So I'll be patient. I'll work harder. I'll work smarter. And what I truly want will happen eventually.
On TV, the fall was scary. Any injuries?
For now, I'm okay. There's no problem. It's just unfortunate. It's just very, very unfortunate. I had so much hope for that all around final. I wanted to finish it, in the best possible way. Although I really think that I was able to pick it back up, and that's something that I really hold dear to myself, is to show younger athletes, younger generation. It's really important to never quit, push your limit, believe in yourself, keep going forward. And these are the values that I take with me when I compete on the international level. And then when that fall happens, the only thing you want to do is just stop. But having the crowd with me that was cheering me on, carrying me through the whole competition, was definitely a game changer. Nothing I've ever experienced in the past. So if they're watching today, thank you so much.
Has that ever happened to you before, where it just snaps
The
like
grip?
that? Yeah.
Yeah. So basically, like I said, the past month has been pretty rough in multiple senses. We were in a training camp in the south of France, and the same thing happened. Exactly the same thing with my first pair, because these were my second pair. And then when I hopped back on the bar, these were my third pair that weren't really ready to perform. Because of course, I would have never believed that I would go through 2 pairs in a month. Usually, I go through 1 pair in 5 months or 4 months. But, I count myself very lucky that today I was kind of able to walk away unscathed and finish the competition the way I really desired to be. So.
By the way, how's your hand?
Again, that's another.
Oh my
that's
dear.
another
Wow.
challenge, but that's definitely something also I had to deal with for the past 2 weeks. And when you look at what I do on P bars, specifically those 2 wooden bars, that just tears my hand apart at this point. And I've been doing my best to try to recover. But the truth is, and like I was saying to my teammates, like I was saying to my coaches, listen, I'm at the Olympic Games. I'm not going to shy away. Like I really want to stand up and do my best, give everything I have on the field, and have no regrets. And I feel like that's something I can say.
You did that,
today.
man. You did that 100%. Vacation now?
The truth is, I'm the type of guy who likes to work. Like if I'm not working, I don't really know what to do. I like to train. I like to push myself. That's basically what keeps me going, you know, honestly. So maybe surely a little week off just for the body to be able to recover as best as possible. But then I'll be back on the work, because definitely, I mean, these games have shown me so much, and I feel like I've grown already so much, but I want more. Like I definitely want more. I'm definitely not fully satisfied, even though, you know, the team performance was great. I was, you know, never done in the past for the men artistic gymnastics to go in a team final. But I mean, of course I want a medal. You know, of course I want my team to be in the top 5, not the top 8, like flush. So these are all, you know, big goals of mine that will only be possible if I get back in there and really, you know, put myself to the work. So
well, something tells me we'll see you back very soon. Enjoy that time off. Congratulations on showing just incredible heart, will, and determination. Really impressive to watch. And you made us all very proud. So I hope
Truly
you heal
appreciate
up soon, and can't wait to see you back in there.
Absolutely.
All right, let's stick with the gymnastics theme here for a moment, because it was incredible theater earlier tonight as American Simone Biles cemented perhaps her legacy as the most dominant gymnast ever. She wins the women's all-around final again. She's 27, and so in doing so, she becomes the oldest woman to win this particular event since 1952. She's also just the 3rd woman in Olympic history to win multiple golds in this particular event, and the first to do so in the span of 8 years. And so joining me now to talk about Simone Biles' brilliance and a little bit more as well is the host of CBC Commotion. He's a culture writer. He's got his finger all over the pulse of these games. He's Elamine Abdelmahmoud. Elamine, when I say Simone Biles to you, especially after what we just witnessed, what comes to mind?
I mean, the greatest to ever do it. Truly the GOAT. Like, you don't get a lot of people who earn that title in their sport. Simone Biles is just it. Like, she has completely done it. The idea of her even needing to cement her legacy was kind of a question mark, but this was that. Like, it was just such an incredible performance and just such an incredible story, too.
And so if we would have talked, like, in the midst of Tokyo or maybe even after Tokyo,
Yeah.
would you have predicted this? Like, she took a break afterwards. I don't know if many people did. What were you thinking? Were you thinking that was the end of her, or did you think she just needed some time off and she'll be back for Paris?
She withdraws from a bunch of different events at Tokyo Olympics. And so even at that moment, she's 24 years old. She's already much older than other gymnasts are typically in this sport. And so the idea that Simone Biles would come back after being called a quitter by people, after being sort of publicly criticized, and then to see her sort of work through all those mental obstacles that came up after Tokyo, and then arrive at this career high point, it was just like a really beautiful, beautiful display.
You summed that up beautifully, by the way. And you know what's cool about her? You know, you see, you're watching her compete, and they cut away to Kevin Durant.
Yeah.
And Drew Holiday and Devin
Steph
Booker.
Curry's like got his phone out.
Super duper, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, like they are in awe of her. These super
Yes.
duper superstars. And also, you know, just to take it one step further, we're here at Canada Olympic House, and for the most part, like when you hear a big cheer, it's when a Canadian is doing something great, and everyone's kind of transfixed on the Canadian athletes competing. When she was competing, and when she finished, and when she won, there was a massive roar. And so it doesn't really seem to matter if you're from Canada or France or anywhere in between. Everyone's rooting for her, everyone's happy for her. The whole like anti-American bias or whatever it may be doesn't exist when it comes to Simone, which I think is quite interesting as well.
Yeah, 100%. I think like Simone is the kind of athlete that has transcended nations and transcended even her sport to just become, hey, you're rooting for this person as a person. You know this person as a story. You're familiar with her trajectory. You're familiar with how long her dominance run has started. You know, I mean, she started winning world championships in 2013. That is so long ago. It's even like difficult to just fathom how much, you know, dominance she's had over the sport for such a period of time. She's also just like incredibly fun to watch. You know, she does this routine that starts to Taylor Swift. I am a Swiftie. I'm going to just say this out here. To me, there's like a collision point of a lot of different exciting things.
Well said. Thank you so much for the time. Really appreciate it. And we'll continue to follow your work throughout these games and beyond as well. Now, for more on gymnastics. And Canada's Ellie Black fell just short of the podium, but was valiant and has been a great character in her own right throughout these games. We spoke to her recently. Take a look at this. Not one, not two, not three, fourth Olympic Games.
Yes.
That's unheard of, especially as a gymnast. How did you do this? How did you get to this point? How did your body hold up?
Yeah, I mean, it's not every day that you see, especially on the women's side of gymnastics, someone going to 4 Olympics. And I think for me, you would have asked me around my first Olympic Games if I had thought that I'd be going for my 4th. I probably just wouldn't have really known. But at that time, there weren't a lot of athletes on the women's side doing it, and there wasn't a lot of role models to look for in that capacity. But I had just goals and dreams that I wanted to achieve, and I really love the sport, and I'm passionate about it.
Obviously, we have to get through Paris, but is it possible you'll go for 5, or is this the last stand, so to speak?
Yeah, it's one day at a time
Okay,
for now.
okay.
But at the end of the day, I always say I don't like to set an end date for myself. And as long as I love what I'm doing and my body can handle it, I want to continue as long as I possibly can. So I wouldn't count that out of the books,
Okay.
but
I
I
love
think
it.
it's just one day at a time for now. First we got to go for Paris, and then we'll see how everything's moving from there.
So you know how yesterday we went to Casa Colombia to watch Canada beat Colombia in soccer? It was a great time, I must say. I thought on today's episode I'd take you on a bit of a tour to the different houses next to Canada House. So we're gonna kick things off and say bom dia to my friends in Brazil, the Brasileiros. I love Brazil, so this feels fitting. Let's go. This is crazy. This looks nothing like Canada House, obviously. It feels very Brazilian. Oh my God. They have acai. If you know me, you know that's my favorite thing in the world. We'll be back there in a moment. Let me show these Brazilians how a Canadian hooper does it. Where we go? Where we go? Come on. Come on. Come on. Oh, did you get that, Paul? Did you get that, my man? Oh, baby. Here it is. Let me tell you something, the other houses, they've got a lot to live up to. This is fantastic. Viva Mexico! We're now outside Casa Mexico. Let's go see what they got going in there. Viva Mexico! Cheers.
Cheers, salud.
Salud. Muy bien.
¿Se gusta?
Me gusta mucho, mucho. Me gusta bailar, me gusta cantar, me gusta
Excelente.
paloma tequila.
Como en México.
Now we're inside the Slovakia house, aka Maison Slovaque. Let's see what they have for us. I'm trying local fish with mayonnaise from Slovakia. Oh, what is the name? Kreska. Thank you so much. Thank you. How do you say bon appetit? Nasravito. It's actually fantastic. Little known fact, I don't know how to ride a bike. All right, here we go. Getting on the bike. I'm so big. Hey, we're doing it. Okay. How long is it? 500 meters? This is the final push. Like Lance Armstrong, but natural. No PEDs, baby. Oh, I'm in first place. Wow. Now let's go check out another house. Hey, Mongolia house is over there. Let's check them out. This is amazing. They've got local Mongolian music. This is called buz. It's a traditional Mongolian dumpling with beef inside. I'm gonna try it. Fantastic. A little spicy. 14 out of 10. All right, I'm stuffed, I'm full. That was a fun assignment, but it's time to go back to do some real work, some real journalism. So, by the way, there's a ton more houses here. We may check out more during our stay here in Paris, but for now, back to the real work. So before we got to Paris, I kind of put together a unofficial wish list of people who I wanted to speak to. And at the very top of that list, no joke, was this man, Shady Elnahas, the judoka, originally from Egypt, now of course representing Canada, one of the very best judokas in the entire world. It's a massive honor for me to speak to him. And I know you probably wish it was under better circumstances that we were here, but I really appreciate after, I know it was a very tough day for you, appreciate you sitting down with us.
Thank you for having me, it's an honor. I'm a huge fan of you.
Thank you. So how do we put today into words? I know you had great expectations, and I know you've had some time to digest it. How are you doing a few hours later?
I'd say disappointing. Of course, I came to the Olympics vice world champion and third in the world ranking. So I was a medal hopeful, and it just didn't go to plan. But that's the sport. It's like any combat sport. You have to expect the unexpected, and I didn't. So that's that.
I saw your post-match interview, and initially you said you weren't feeling great today, and then you mentioned the thumb, and I'm like, well, okay, now I understand why you weren't feeling great. Like, you broke your thumb, what, just a few weeks ago, and had to have surgery, and just took the stitches out?
I just took the stitches out yesterday night before I competed. Yeah, and I had to get a nail screw in my thumb. So, but again, it's like the fighting sport.
I know you don't want to give excuses.
Yeah, I don't want to give excuses, but it's like Leon last week, when he lost to Bilal, he said, I wasn't feeling it, right? That's the same thing here.
Right. And so how did that happen? In training?
Yeah, it was the last day of camp. So last day of preparation, last fight, and I just got too excited and I fell on it and it just broke.
When that realization hit you, that you were now going to go to the Olympics with a broken thumb, how did you react?
I panicked, of course, especially when they told me I need surgery. It's my first surgery ever. But I have my brother and my girlfriend, and they're really good at calming me down. So they kind of did the job, and I came in thinking I really could win, and it just didn't happen.
And did you consider pulling out?
No. I chopped my thumb off before pulling out, yeah.
Do you think that's the reason why you weren't feeling great, or were other things going on as well?
Maybe in my subconscious I was more stressed about it, and I feel like I put a lot of pressure on myself to win a medal, especially I wanted to be the first male gold medalist, but that didn't happen. But again, I'm not done. I think maybe I'll do another cycle.
Yes, and you could potentially compete later on in these games as well. Have you made a decision as to whether or not you will?
Oh, 100%. I'm doing the team event, so I have to fight the open weight division. So I hope my team can do really well, but I think I can manage still.
Is it true that you have an Olympic rings tattoo, but they're not fully connected?
Yeah, I have it right here.
Okay.
And the rings were not connected because I always said I want to be Olympic champion, and then I'll close it, or if I'm satisfied with my career. So yeah, maybe we'll close it this time, because honestly, I feel like these Olympics were special enough for me. My whole family was here. First time seeing me fight on a big stage like that, so.
First time?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, my parents' first time to see me internationally compete, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
I know LA is a ways away, but do you think you will go for that as well?
To be decided, but I believe I'm 26 right now. I'll be 30 in LA, so it's doable, right? So maybe, yeah.
The other question is, of course, the world that I come from, mixed martial arts. We've seen a lot of great judokas make the transition. Do you have any interest in that?
I would love to, honestly. I'm a big MMA fan. I watch every pay-per-view. I can name you every from 1 to 10, the top lightweights. Yeah. And I watch your show all the time. I love the part. Dustin Poirier is my favorite fighter, so I feel like the Dustin Poirier of judo, always this close to winning the big one, and then But yeah.
It's not a bad guy to compare yourself to, by the way.
He's a legend. He's a legend. So yeah, either MMA, or I know Anthony Corelli, and he does WWE. So
interesting.
I don't know. I grew up watching WWE.
I love both of those. I love both of those. If you had a preference, which one?
Well, I mean WWE, my face wouldn't get destroyed.
But it is brutal on the body.
But the competition aspect, of course, MMA. Yeah.
Okay. By the way, would you want to be a heel or a babyface? Good guy or bad guy in WWE?
I think heel. Heel gets more reactions. Yeah. And it's hard. I think it's harder to be a face.
It is.
Yeah. To keep the crowd loving you. Yeah. I think.
Who's your favorite of all time?
Edge.
Edge, interesting.
By far, yeah. I grew up watching him. Yeah.
Did you follow him now with AEW?
Yeah, I'm more of a WWE stan,
yeah.
but if it's Edge, I'll watch.
I asked Krista Deguchi if she wants to transition.
saw,
She
I
says
saw.
she doesn't really want to get hit.
Yeah.
Are you okay with getting punched?
I love violence, so it's part of who I am. Yeah, but
All
yeah,
right.
I don't mind a little punch in the face a little bit. Yeah.
So let's bypass LA and let's go. I want to see you.
I
in
got the
MMA.
hookups now.
Yeah,
Dana, call my phone.
Well, maybe not with him.
Yeah,
But,
that's true,
with
that's
other
true,
people.
that's
With
true.
WWE, I could make
WWE
a
would be
call.
cool, honestly.
You've got a great future ahead of you,
No, thank you
and
so much.
the country is very proud of you. Today
Thank you, it's
doesn't
an
change
honor.
anything, obviously, and looking forward to seeing what you do for the rest of the games and this next chapter, which has me very interested
To be
now.
decided,
Either
yeah.
direction. So
Yeah.
well done. Keep it up, and I hope you get well soon
Thank
as well.
you so much. Thank you.
Well, another unforgettable day here in Paris comes to an end. Canada ups its medal count to 8. That's still good for 9th. And their streak continues. A medal each and every day of these Olympic Games. We'll see if that continues tomorrow. By the way, I did want to give a shout out to Wyatt Sanford. The Nova Scotian didn't win a medal today, but he's en route to winning one. In fact, he won in the quarterfinals of the 63.5 kilogram boxing event. That means he's headed to the semifinals. That's on Sunday. Even if he loses that match, he's guaranteed a bronze. There is no bronze medal match in boxing. So he's guaranteed Canada's first boxing medal since 1996, but it gets even more exciting than that. If he wins in the semifinals on Sunday and then makes it to the gold medal match, he has an opportunity to win Canada's first gold medal in boxing since 1988. A young man named Lennox Lewis, who did some pretty good things in his career after the Olympics. He was the one who won it. Wyatt Sanford is oh so close to being the first. Since Lewis, we wish him the best. Can't wait to see him fight again on Sunday. All right, now time for my Paris Tonight podium, AKA my 3 favorite moments of the day. We'll begin with Evan Dunphy. Unfortunately, he missed the podium in the 20-kilometer race walk event, but he was a joy to talk to afterwards, and that conversation is going to air on tomorrow's program. I'm bringing him up now because after our conversation, I happened to mention this sort of viral sensation chocolate muffin that's been making the rounds on social media. It's big on TikTok, I'm told. Our super producer, Sarah Jenkins, tells me that she's really tapped in the world of TikTok. And I happened to bring it up to him, and lo and behold, he said he had one in his bag in the green room. And so he brought it over. I was in awe. He tried it. He went muffin top first. And I just enjoyed getting to see this thing. In fact, I was kind of starstruck. I got to see the viral sensation muffin. To his credit, to be fair to him, he did say it was a little overrated. He didn't really get what the buzz was, but I love the fact that he had it and that he ate it in front of me. It was just very fun. You had to be there. Anyway, let's move along. My silver medal moment, that would be my conversation with Shady Elnahas. Obviously, he was very disappointed after the showing that he had earlier today, but I really enjoyed speaking to him off camera. And I learned that he is originally from Alexandria, Egypt. And when he was a youngster, his family moved to Toronto, and then he eventually moved to Montreal. And I gotta be honest, this was very familiar to me because my father, Claude Helwani, moved from Alexandria, Egypt to Montreal in 1967. And I've been talking to him every single day while I'm here in Paris. And to be honest, he isn't the biggest sports fan. In fact, he told me he has never in his life prior to these games watched a single second of Olympic coverage. He doesn't really do the Olympic thing. And yet he's been watching each and every episode of Paris Tonight, and he's been loving it. He's been sending me commentary. He's been sending me his thoughts. It's been a lot of fun, and I've really appreciated it. And so I say hello to my father and my mother back home, and hope that they continue to watch and appreciate their support as always. My conversation with Shady reminded me of them, and so I just wanted to say hello. My gold medal moment, well, let's stick with the parents theme, shall we? What about the McIntoshes? What about Summer McIntosh? What about her mom? She competed in 1984 for Canada in the event that Summer won a gold medal in earlier today. Could you imagine how she's feeling? Could you imagine what she's thinking? I can't imagine. As a parent, she must be over the moon. It's a beautiful story all these years later to see her daughter dominate the headlines, dominate these games at just 17 years young. It blows my mind, and what's so amazing about it is she's just getting started. Not only at these games, but many games to come. We'll be talking about Summer McIntosh for quite some time, and when it's all said and done, she could go down as the most dominant athlete to ever hail from Canada to compete in the Olympic Games. Good luck to her. the rest of the way. And congratulations to the Macintosh family. All right. Usually at the end of the show, I give you my one thing to watch tomorrow. Well, this time I'm going to give you two. Why? Because it's a very busy day tomorrow here in Paris. Number one, at around 4 a.m. Eastern time, Damian Werner, the defending gold medalist in decathlon, is beginning his quest to successfully defend that title, if you will. Wake up early. He's one of the best athletes in the world. You're going to want to watch him compete. Trust me. Set the alarm now. Number two, at around 11:15 a.m. Eastern, the Canadian men's basketball team is back in action. And yes, they're 2-0. And yes, they've already punched their ticket to the quarterfinals. But we want to finish 3-0. We want to get that top seed. And so they got a big showdown against one of the best teams in the world, Spain. Let's root them on, and let's watch them exclusively on CBC Gem. You can watch that game and Werner and everything else that's been going down here in Paris only on CBC Gem. That's the place to be for all things Olympics. All right, we're out of time. Thank you so much for watching. We appreciate you very much. Bonne nuit, my friends, from Paris.
Paris Tonight is brought to you by Smart Water.